I'm in the process of a teardown on a gearbox out of a 1974 R90/6 with 80,000 plus miles on it. I believe this gearbox has been apart once before for shimming only. I don't believe bearings have been replaced in this box. So what I'm going to do is create a series of videos and a playlist showing some of the teardown and inspection, and then some of the reassembly. This gearbox I intend to go back into my R90, 74 R90. Back last winter I rebuilt a 1980 gearbox and installed it in the bike, and I'm running it right now. It's a better box, but I'm going to keep that one as a spare and reinstall this box, the original 74 box, because I'd like to retain the originality and the kickstart. I don't use the kickstart, but other than to turn over the engine by hand when doing maintenance. But I like it. I like the originality of it. So I'm going to try to retain that. I'll make improvements on this box, and I'll cover those improvements as I go along. As you can see, I've got all three shafts out of the box, out of the case. I've gutted it and cleaned everything up except the shafts. I have to clean these up yet. So in the series of videos that follow, I'm going to address each shaft in turn by pressing off the bearings and then performing an inspection of each shaft, cleaning up the gears and the dogs and the shaft, and doing a thorough inspection on it. I'll report my findings on separate videos for each shaft. You can see I've already pressed off the bearings on the output shaft and on the input shaft. I have not pressed off the bearings yet on the intermediate shaft. I'm trying to retain my Kickstarter. So I have some wear on these teeth here. You can see an offset there. The teeth on the idler wheel look real good, and this actually drives the kickstart gear on the input shaft. This gear is compromised, and I've noticed some cracking in it. So I'm undecided what I'm going to do. I have the word out trying to find another one, but that's unlikely. The shifting mechanism, I'm going to replace the nylon roller with a bearing. I'm going to replace all three springs. I don't think I'm going to upgrade to the later cam wheels, though. I just can't warrant that expense when these are perfectly fine. This box was a pretty good shifting box. However, I did have quite a bit of free play or end float in the shafts. I checked the end float on the shafts before I disassembled it, and I had 17 thousandths of end float on the input shaft. On the counter shaft I had 8 thousandths, and on the output shaft I had 23 thousandths. And I'll explain in a later video on this output shaft why that end float was so large, and it had to do with the circlip, the infamous circlip that retains the clutch end bearing on the shaft. That's explained in a later video. I won't go into it now, but that was the source of all that end play on that output shaft. So stay tuned. I hope you find these useful. They're certainly not going to be entertaining, but stay tuned. More videos to follow.